Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 594 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Mulder, and we are watching Trollhunter. We've got Nate Ostendorp.
Howdy ho.
Chris DeBona.
Hi.
And tonight's movie chooser, Rob Roseboom.
That's me. I chose this.
You did, and you chose well.
It's so good.
Thanks.
Christine and I've seen it twice actually now. Since you suggested it. I watched it with Christine last night. She's like, this is really good. This is a fantastic movie. I'm like, I know.
I was wanting to make Kathleen watch it just because I know she'll enjoy it. It's such a weird thing because I've seen the immediate ancestor to me maybe is like a Cloverfield, just for having a big monster and having like found footage shtick. But combining it with okay, so Rob, you're gonna need to help me here because I don't know what of the mythology here is like rooted in folklore and legend, and what of it is like stuff they pulled out of their butts for this movie.
So almost everything that they talk about is a reference to actual troll folklore, including the 3 goats on the bridge.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was great.
I just assumed that.
Yeah.
I just assumed because trolls live under the bridge that was the reference. I wasn't sure how deep it went. So please enlighten us. That's the stuff that I want to know more about.
So they mention a eating contest, and there's a fairy tale about a man who tricked a troll into eating rocks while he ate gruel so he could eat more than the troll. The Christian thing is in the troll mythos.
That's funny.
They include the turning to stone thing, which is more culturally relevant because of Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
I think
sure.
most people know about that. So yeah.
I don't know a lot about this. I know that it had very little to do with those tiny plastic things with the colored hair.
That's true.
They don't seem to look like that. Also, at no point did these credits warn me about mooses and tell me about the mooses that were biting their sisters. And I was a little worried about that. I wanted them to warn me that the moose were going to bite my sister.
I don't know how Monty Python ties in with this, but sure.
Watch the first 60 seconds of the Holy Grail.
Right. I have many times.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like you got sacked after being told to sack the people who worked on the credits who were sacked.
Right, but we should finish them at great expense in a completely different style.
I do like that it starts out letting you know that this is indeed a found footage movie.
Yep.
So to level set your expectation.
It's funny because this is the genre. The found footage movie genre has to give you the justification at the beginning and the end. Blair Witch did it. Cloverfield does it. This does it. What's the superhero one where a bunch of kids get superpowers?
Oh yeah, that one.
Like Invincible, maybe something like that.
No. It's
It's one of those movies that's surprisingly good too. But like that, this is a trope.
Chronicle.
There you go. That's a surprisingly good movie.
It is good.
Flawed, but really worth your time. But you've got to set this up, and I like it because they can usually be really efficient with it, and it's interesting because we just watched 2010, which has like 3 minutes of text that you have to read at the beginning, and then you see this. This doesn't feel extraneous or drawn out at all. This feels really efficient, but that's the luxury that I guess you have of this genre, this style. Rob, did you have anything else that you wanted to say at 13?
Nope, that's it.
All right, then.
So they set it up right away.
We're jumping a lot. Unfortunately, our ugly faces are going to be obscuring the subtitles for Jake, Elon, Ambaloo, and Cliff.
Why don't you move us like over?
Because subtitles are centered, and so are we. I can shrink it and put them up a little bit, but I mean,
shrink it and big it, man.
We can read them. So if it's important, you can read it aloud.
Okay.
So let's see. We gotta get the movie started up. Introduce our film crew.
Yeah.
And
From
introduce
the
our
university in Voda.
and introduce our bear hunter.
And he's kind of touching, in how he cares for the things he has to hunt, and he doesn't.
Let me give us this.
Look at that axe. I love that axe.
Yeah, right.
That absolutely says I'm a bear hunter.
Yep.
I'm a poacher. Here's my broad axe.
It's how you get them. They're 200 feet tall. Yeah, I like that too. I like everything about this guy. This movie is him. And like the film crew is just there to catch him and set this world up, and it's really well done.
Yeah. And what's interesting is he's a fairly well-known comedian in Norway.
Really?
Yeah, he is.
Hans?
Almost everyone in this movie is a comedian. So if you watch it in Norway, you'd be like, Robin Williams is the Trollhunter.
It's like Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
This was your time code, Chris.
I'm just reading up on this guy. Yeah, the only thing I said, actually, you have a note here too, but I was just like, maneuvering a caravan like this around these Norwegian towns and those roads must be near impossible. Because I've been in some of these towns like Tromsø and the rest. Like, they have like teeniest little streets, and half the time he's on a 1-lane road in between towns.
So the first time you meet him, you see him with a tire. Or the first time he's going out into the fields, and they don't explain that for a while, but it has a great payoff. I like that they put him on the barge here.
Ferry.
Do you have to ride down these now, Chris? Is this part of your life?
Yeah, when I go into work in Seattle, I hop on the ferry and then I drive to my office. But that doesn't happen right now because of COVID.
Right.
And no one has ever asked me if I was a poacher on the ferry. So.
This was the line where, the guy's just like, why are we doing this? We're following this poacher around, and he says, "Do you think Michael Moore gave up after the first try?" And I like that.
What's funny is that I didn't I had, this was in my notes too. Like I think I said this in General Channel. Our notes overlap. I think I only had 3 notes that one of you hadn't already marked in this. But this one, I was trying to figure out why they chose Michael Moore as the person. And so for me, I was thinking, is this movie going to be political? But then I realized, no, he's probably literally the only documentary filmmaker type person that is known internationally and puts himself on camera and he's in it. That's not a thing that's particularly common.
Yeah, I took it as just sort of absurdist,
Yeah.
I will say, for about the first 15, 20 minutes of the movie, I kind of thought, this looks like it's entirely filmed on campgrounds and public land.
Yeah.
I looked up the budget and it was $3.5 million. And I'm like, where did that $3.5 million actually go? Because I think I've seen $50,000 of footage so far.
Right.
Troll mucus.
Yep.
This has to be one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Totally.
Where he comes running out of the woods screaming troll.
Troll!
Do it.
So this is the cool thing about a movie when you come into it like this. You don't know what the tone is. You don't know, I didn't know that this was a mockumentary format. I didn't know anything about it. I also didn't really expect it to be funny. And it's not laugh out loud funny. It's wry and weird funny. But that moment right there, that's the moment where I'm like, all right, sit back. We're going to enjoy this movie because that is weird.
It's very dry Norwegian humor, you know.
I just like that he's patching him up with duct tape when he says, "Go get the first aid kit," and then just starts taping him up with duct tape, and it's like, oh yeah,
Well, you put gauze underneath the duct tape. So.
totally.
Do you?
No, it's very it's very sanitary.
Yes.
Did he though?
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I think he did, yeah, because he asked for gauze and then he's put it in there.
Then I feel a little better. Because, I mean, all I could think about is that is going to hurt so much coming off, and it's going to rip all the scabs off, and, like, it's going to be bad. Like, this was actually freaking me out.
Well, you know, for debridement of wounds, duct tape is not such a bad choice. Just saying.
You don't got the tube of plastic skin.
Mm-hmm. I hate tape so much. I bruise very easily.
Here we go. So, all right. So
I'm watching this movie. I'm like, I love this movie.
Yeah.
So much.
And again, Rob, this is why I wanted to hear from you, because I had no idea if this was like part of the troll mythology. This is something I had no idea about, and they execute this for maximum effect throughout the film. It's really great.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, like, maybe he's just like, you know, anti-religion or something. Maybe that you're not really sure, but you assume there's something about the trolls. But the way they play it out, oh, I love it.
This part I just liked. If you can play it for a second. Is this a landmine?
Yeah.
Yes, but it isn't armed.
So that's fine.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. So I need to set up the next one. He asks the kids to go down on the creek, wash up, and then rub themselves with the boiled down snot,
the troll
blood,
stench.
Yep.
troll stench. And I was like, this is basically troll ambergris, right? So ambergris is whale vomit that is solidified and come up on, either been captured in the water or it's come up on the beach, and it's extremely valuable. So I'm picturing the perfume houses of Paris like going nuts for this shit, you know, like, oh my god, troll ambergris.
So,
you know,
what I would just like to say,
solved all his money problems.
Go ahead, Rob.
You also cover yourself in deer urine when you're going deer hunting.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I just wanted to say that I have never heard the word ambergris spoken before this conversation. I have only ever read it, and I always thought it was pronounced ambergris because I probably read it when I was in 5th grade, and it just has always been that. So today I learned.
I'm not sure that I'm pronouncing it right, though. I'm not a native French speaker.
All right, Ambaloo. Let us know the proper pronunciation of ambergris.
Oh man, I love this movie so much. It's so funny.
The Ringlefinch. There's piss everywhere.
Yeah.
So, Rob, are all of the different species that they mention, those are all defined like traditional mythologies?
That I do not believe is true. I think there were trolls who are famous in different regions, and that's how they named them. But I am not 100% sure. But I do like that they have like the taxonomy down. You know,
Yeah.
they have the different breeds and names. Now there are stories about forest trolls and mountain trolls always fighting and throwing rocks, so that part's all in the fairy tales too. But I don't know about the specific species.
That's one of the things that I think that they do really good. This is something that you see a lot of times in like vampire movies and stuff too, like where there's like different versions of the thing, and I guess that lets you escalate your story, right? That you get bigger and more powerful or different abilities in the thing that you're fighting. And this movie does this really well, and they're each so distinctive. The things they fight in the cave layer thing versus the giant hulking was the Guntner. Like they're distinctive. It's really fun. So this is you, Chris.
Oh.
Troll veterinarian, sure.
I love the idea, so there's this troll security service. Of course there's a troll veterinarian.
Yep.
And so something coming up later that I'll mention.
A lot of this movie actually, and it's fun for this fact, but it's weird for this fact, is it's very difficult to determine what the infrastructure is around the Trollhunter. Is he a dude who operates in total isolation? Because as this goes on, like there's a lot of people who seem to know an awful lot about the trolls that are everywhere, and eventually everybody knows.
Part of the movie is the reveal of the bureaucracy and the fact that like he just hates his job. He's just like, this is a terrible job. Like, I hate my boss. I hate all the paperwork I have to fill out every time I kill a troll. I hate that they make me kill trolls when they want to build a freaking tunnel. Like,
I told them not to.
Yeah.
And so I had to go in there and kill them all. It was a massacre.
So we open up our first good view of a troll, and it's one of the 3 head guys.
Yeah.
So can I just say, one of the things that really became astonishingly clear is the sound editing and mixing of this movie is excellent.
For sure.
It elevates the movie beyond its ken. I mean, it's amazing. Because honestly, when I first saw these trolls, I'm like, those are the funniest looking things I've ever seen. That's awesome. But the sound is so good, But I love this troll.
And Nate, you cited the budget. Now we see where the budget is, because there's actually, it looks to me like there's a pretty good mix of practical. Like I assume they're actually like bending the trees and stuff in the background. I'm not sure if that's all. It might be because this is in such dim lighting, but there's a lot of like stuff getting manipulated, and then there's a lot of 2010 era CGI. But it's pretty good 2010 era CGI. Like we haven't.
I think what helps it a lot is that all the trolls are stylized like old troll paintings in Norway, right? So they all have that sort of big nose, sort of weird looking thing where they don't look 100% anatomically correct or real.
Totally.
By staying a mile away from the uncanny valley, you can really just be weird.
And they're in the dark or in night vision, like so it's very forgiving from a lighting perspective.
Yep. Yeah. It's very much the I don't know, the director or the special effects coordinator, whoever it was. This is a person who knows their budget and who knows the capabilities of special effects in 2010 for their budget, and they are executing this. They are executing it really, really well.
Honestly, if you look at most of the troll shots, they're always framed in this way. So you've got the character off to the left or off to the right. You're seeing over their shoulder, but they're never intersecting with the actual troll until that final chase scene. And it's kind of brilliant, honestly. They really knew what they were doing.
Unbelievable posted the link to the pronunciation of ambergris. Let's see. Uh-oh. All right, I'll close that window. You don't want that.
Ambergris.
All right.
But
Ambergris?
The Wikipedia Commons.
Ambergris.
Ambergris. So I was right. That's
sure.
Maybe. I can't hear it.
I think it comes down to if you're French or not.
Oh.
Indeed.
Chris might be French.
I'm not, but if I were, ambergris.
Ambergris. I have to fix the window a second since the Og Vorbis opened up in the movie like a noob. All right.
I will say, when this thing screams, though.
This is the first use of the bright lights, right? And they carry this through, and it's great. It's great. It's efficient. It's cheap. It's convincing, and it turns them into stone, which leads to all sorts of funny things that you could do with the corpses.
Hard to get rid of the bodies.
Aye. So good.
Yeah, so this is just where they're talking to him about why are you doing this, and you just learned that he's just a fucking disgruntled troll hunter, right? His job is shitty. He hates it. Everything about it is garbage. So he's like, I want you to follow me around, videotape this, and then release the tapes so that I don't have to do this anymore. Or some changes will be made. He's like, they don't give us night bonuses and no overtime.
It's great.
Troll hunters need a union. It's like, oh, it's so good.
And I just love this first scene where he's cleaning up the troll, and it's like jackhammers and sledgehammers, and it's just this what a pain.
It's the worst part of being a troll hunter, really, the cleanup. Right?
Oh, yeah. If I've learned anything from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that's really how you want your monsters to be. You want to stab them, and then they just turn into dust, and you don't have to worry about the corpse.
Perfect. Yeah.
Maybe a dustbuster is what I carry around.
Sure.
So before you start this, I want to point something out. I don't think that we would have troll hunters in the United States because we don't have a national health system, right? I mean, if you think about it, a lot of his ailments come from being manhandled by the trolls, So if they didn't have socialized medicine, they probably couldn't have troll hunters absent healthcare.
So now we get to be revealed that they're using a bear.
So I love that the Polish people are treated poorly in Norway as well. They're kind of used as a joke, right? They're like, oh, we'll hire Polish people because in Norway, it's considered all crappy jobs Polish people do, right? Mm-hmm. And they don't speak very good Norwegian. I also like that the head of the TSS gets pissed because he looks and he can tell right away, this is a Russian bear.
Yeah,
he's like,
wrong bear.
But his response, the Polish response, was so funny. He's like, no, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. He's like, but it's a Russian bear. He's like, it's okay. Russian bears,
good bear
all the time. No problem. Escape from Missouri.
Everything about this. So this is for me where I'm really trying to figure out what the bureaucracy is behind this, because somebody is coordinating black market bear corpses from Poland. There's infrastructure going on here. We're seeing more and more of that, and it's weird.
I just loved that he has to go out with his fake bear shoes and his bear walking sticks and go make bear tracks around so that it looks like a bear.
And he's doing it backwards.
Yeah. He just does such a bad job, and everyone's like, oh, the tracks don't look right. And he's like, whatever. I don't know.
It's like, nobody cares.
Yeah. Everybody's just trying to do the bare minimum.
And that comes up over and over again in this movie, that he's just really bad at his job.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I just wanted to quick watch this shot. They click, and then they flip through the white balance on the camera. That it's one of those things that it's a nice touch for these found footage kind of movies. And if you're paying attention, the white balance in several scenes is off. And I really that to me, those are the little details that make the whole format kind of work, because the cliche of the format is the shaky camera, and the shaky camera halfway through a movie, if it's overdone, it becomes dumb. But that's something really subtle, and it's something that a rookie camera person would do. And they would make that mistake, and they included it right in the edit. I like that. That made me really happy.
It's got class.
Well, it's the little touches of reality. Also, I thought in this shot he looked so much like Bryan Cranston. I was I don't know what it was, but I was pretty afraid that he was going to try to sell me blue meth.
And I love this whole sequence too, where he's breaking down basically the life cycle of trolls.
Yeah.
It's great.
Two main groups, mountain trolls and woodland trolls. And the subgroups include Ringelfitch, Tosserland, Rim Tosser. Yeah.
Is this the sequence where he explains that
And
they start
Jotnar.
the heads and that the other heads are fake?
I have that it is as a time code at 4152.
The veterinarian talks about that. I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So fun.
But again, this is as from a pacing perspective, the writing on this, like a lot of these movies, also tend to be heavily improv driven, and this feels like somebody put it together and they're getting all of their mythology out in 45 seconds. It's concise.
Yeah,
it's efficient. It doesn't shut your story down. Like a lot of people could learn from this in terms of filmmaking.
No, yeah, this was just like the extra heads. They're more like protuberances. They're just there to scare other trolls or impress females.
like all protuberances. I liked that a lot because I wasn't sure what was going on with their heads.
This I thought was the sort of hilarious thing where he's like, "Oh yeah, I got to fill out the paperwork. Here's the Slade troll form."
I love this part where they show the paperwork. You know, it's
of course it's a tedious, boring job.
Don't
troll base number. Yep.
Oh, this is from they must have shot this in 2009. There we go. Yeah, everything's got a bureaucracy. It's nice to come out of Brazil and then to go into this.
Totally.
This is this is maybe where Brazil starts.
All I said is I have this sunscreen, the Anthelios XL. It's good stuff.
Right. This
I do like that he sleeps in super high ultraviolet light.
Yep.
He's just like I can't sleep in the dark.
He's been fighting monsters his almost his entire life, and now must sleep in UV light.
And the white balance is off in here, presumably because of the ultraviolet lights. It's nice.
And I like that there's a bunch of old dried troll tails everywhere in this place.
Yep. And he's got the goo.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of all the crap you squeeze out of a troll.
Yeah. Pretty much anything you can squeeze out of a troll.
This man has seen some things. Oh, this is great.
No, yeah, I love the bait. The bait is a block of concrete and a bag of charcoal.
Yep.
There you go.
It's the best troll bait ever.
Yum.
And I also like that it's like the classic looking bear trap. Like I can't
Right.
imagine that that's still like a practical thing. Maybe it is, but it seems like we could have done better. Maybe it's 2009. But I guess bureaucracies don't really want to spend the cash for the upgrades.
And up on the road there, they noticed that the bear was cross-legged while it was walking.
Yep.
Because that guy is so terrible at his job again.
And here he is describing how the bear stores its food here under the bridge. And there's just a whole big pile of gore under the bridge. It's like, yep. It's a troll.
There's no such thing as trolls.
So for me, this is the peak of the movie.
Totally.
When he's got the Ned Kelly outfit on, he goes
good.
He goes on the bridge with the little bell and the bucket of blood and the syringe.
Gotta hate this crap.
The troll punches him, knocks him out, picks him up and tries to eat him, but he's wearing the armor. So he just kind of gnaws on him a little bit before he puts him back down. It's fantastic.
Yep. No, totally best scene.
I'm about to toss out some Christian man's blood. Oh, that's so great. And we got our goats and our sheeps.
It's so good. This
Oh,
That for me is the best.
Just
so funny. All I said about this scene was, you've heard my criticism of Iron Man. Just watching this, I'm like going, man, this is the OG Iron Man here. This guy, he's suffering when he's being wanged around by that guy.
Now we also know that trolls explode.
It's covered in goo.
Yeah.
Now we know that trolls also explode.
And I think
turn to stone all nice and clean.
I think, Rob, for me, that was the moment for me. The explosion and the dude covered in goo. Because we've had, now we know the deal. This movie, this movie has now put its cards on the table. And it's awesome.
So this is where they visit the veterinarian, and I just love the logo of the vet, which is what appears to be a happy troll with trees growing out of his head. It's all awfully cute.
You gotta find the levity in a job when your job involves smearing yourself with whatever you can squeeze out of a troll. All right.
It also makes sense, right? That if this is a government program, there would be some biologist or veterinarian who's in charge of it, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's her.
Yep.
I just, it's so
And
funny. These excuses.
they actually try to make a reasonable scientific explanation why they turn to stone or explode.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Appreciated. Yeah.
They gave exactly the right amount of exposition without falling into midichlorian territory.
Yeah.
All right, we jump a lot here. What I'll say is that during these sequences especially, you feel like this movie was getting a stipend from the tourism board.
Sure.
Because there is some gorgeous mountains and some gorgeous just general scenery throughout these last few minutes.
Yeah.
So good.
Makes me want to visit this fine land.
Yeah, right? During the summer.
Oh, for sure. This is another scene of it that it's all shot green, and I wondered when you render this, how much are you able to save in your render times? Is it like are they really just pulling out the channels and only rendering the green channel? Is that something you can do? Does that save you time? I hope
I don't think it would save you time in rendering, but you wouldn't have to be as precise.
Exactly. Your end result
it's
is
like
more
you're doing
forgiving.
a smush blurry filter because
Yep.
most night vision systems are 160 by 100 resolution. So it's like you have it's a lot more forgiving. It's kind of like you've been on a movie set. Like if you're actually on a movie set, everything looks incredibly fake. Like not even like Disney World level real.
Yeah.
It's just
turns out the light and the camera lens does a lot.
Oh yeah, and it's
They run with it.
I'm like, wow, they're all in on the fart joke here. And then meanwhile, Kale, if you go forward a few seconds, the cameraman is like putting on the ambergris like crazy.
Yeah, committed. He gets it now.
No, he's petrified, right?
Yeah, he gets it. He's gonna. No, I got to get more. I was actually the thing that I kept thinking about this is we just a couple of nights ago watched the Shaun the Sheep Farmageddon, which is fine, and it's a
I love Shaun the Sheep.
Yeah, it's a completely entertaining movie for what it is. But you can Kat and I were watching this. It's like you can tell like every 6 minutes they're gonna put in the fart joke or like the big physical comedy routine to keep the kids engaged.
Sure.
And in that movie especially, which is clearly aimed at the single digit age crowd. When I saw this, I was like, what parent is letting their kid watch this? It took me a second to realize, no, that was just a fart joke for grown-ups.
It's good times.
So it turned out he lied and he was a Christian.
Yep. And
so the trolls smell him and they eat him.
Yep. This So
go back like 5 seconds.
Yeah,
that's right.
This is one of my favorite parts of the movie
It's
too.
so funny.
So they've they've spent their time mourning the loss of the cameraman like a day, and they hire this new lady, and this is the conversation they have about whether
you are not Christian. You don't believe in Jesus or God. I'm a Muslim.
Now, first of all,
Excellent.
you can't ask that in an HR interview.
Well, no. So I think
After she's hired,
because it's a condition of the workplace.
That's
right?
true.
So I mean, but I mean they think that her God is not the Abrahamic God is very interesting.
Yeah.
But okay.
I do like it that they're like, is Muslim okay? And he's like, Alan's is like, I honestly don't know.
I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
See what happens.
Traditionally, trolls haven't met many of them.
Yep, I honestly don't know. We'll see what happens.
See what happens.
That might be the funniest joke in the movie.
It's so funny. I mean, really, the whole movie is a setup for that joke. An hour and 19 minutes, you know. So.
Yeah. What did they tell her that she was going to be photographing? Because she talks about like that she's going to be filming. She's filming the Sahara. Muskox. Sure. Cool.
Well, and then they run into muskox on their way out.
Sure.
I love the spiky truck.
Right?
Totally.
So the thing I wanted to point out is this is the classic Land Rover Defender, and this is a fantastic representative index Defender. It's so cool. It's such a great car.
It's lacking a man standing on top of it with an electric guitar that shoots flame.
It's a little Mad Max. It's a little Mad Max.
You paint it black.
I do like the gashes on the side, and
That's
just
so
like
good.
it looks like Trollhunter mobile.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it does.
And again, it's efficient use of your budget. You find an old car, you smash it up, you weld some stuff to it because everybody's got a buddy who likes to weld. That's great. Oh, and here's where they kind of set up, I guess the main final thing.
The thing is,
they explain that the power lines really don't go anywhere, and it's just a big electrical fence to keep the trolls there.
They're just to keep the trolls at bay.
They're electric fences to keep the trolls at bay.
You know.
And then he goes to the power company. He's like, "So why do you have these power lines in a circle that go nowhere?" No, but yeah. And they're like, "I don't know, huh?"
That French had rabies.
You gotta go back to 125.49 just a second.
Did I shoot that?
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
It's not super important, but this is the part where you learn that it's not just the bad work conditions and the paperwork he doesn't like. Like they made him go and slaughter like baby trolls and all kinds of other stuff, and he's like, "Screw that," you know.
I hate this job.
Hele livet til Hans har på mange måter dreid seg utelukkende om troll. Hver dag har for han vært en kamp om og med troll. Han er på mange måter en...
He's a superhero. Is that what you wanted, Rob?
I believe it was maybe a little bit before that time code, but it's fine.
No, it's this talk.
Oh, this is it right here. Yeah.
They tried to build the tunnels.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sympathetic story.
Yeah.
And basically realistic with what a government agency would do that was secret.
So, the thing I wanted to say about this is it was right about this time that a polar bear with a toothache, a rotted tooth, attacked basically a Boy Scout troop that were camping in the snow on Svalbard and killed some people before they could kill it. And the autopsy showed that he just had a toothache and it had driven him crazy. The rot had driven him absolutely mad. And so I'm like picturing like these trolls with rabies you know, just suffering and in pain and just angry all the time. And I'm like, you don't want something 30 stories tall angry at you, you know? So I was like, I have a lot of sympathy for these poor trolls. That's all I'm saying. I'm still team human.
So
the hymn is awesome.
The hymn. Yep.
I love that.
I was getting flashbacks of Mars Attacks because they end that with they drag the yodeling music across and explode in the same way or a similar. That's really funny.
Yeah. Did you mark when he died?
We got one mark left, and we're going there now.
Yeah. God, it was so good when he was walking around and they were driving in and out. And
yep, the killing blow. There it is.
That's well done.
Yeah.
Looks good.
And the sound mixing during that whole sequence was unbelievable. Like, should have won an Oscar, you know?
I'm not sure that I'd go that far, but I definitely enjoyed it.
So good.
Well, that
and
was
then the government shows up and they run and the film stops. This is great though that they edited this actual speech.
So was this real?
Yeah.
This
is a real speech. They just edited it. So the real line was like he said, the troll lands, because that's what they call the power grid.
Men vi mot strømledninger, og det går ikke lenge. Norge har troll.
Norway has trolls, so more power lines are needed. And this guy's look.
What?
And that's a perfect place to smash cut to your title card at your end of your movie, which is just fantastic.
Good.
This was a shockingly fun movie. This movie has fun with itself.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it because it's one of my favorites. Sort of a hidden gem, the Trollhunter.
I love it. I would like to find more mockumentary style or found footage style things. I found the found footage thing. It took me like a half hour to get used to subtitles with a found footage thing. I don't know why that was, but I found it a little disconcerting because it's just got a different editing pattern, and so it was a little hard for the first few minutes for me to like get my head into this. I don't know. I felt like I was watching something different than a film, but it's kind of got me onto wanting to watch more found footage style things. That's why I was thinking about Chronicle earlier. Gentlemen.
It is your week.
It is my week. And I want to be kind to my friends this week. It has been a while since I watched this movie, but it follows into my theme of watching the less good second movie in a series. But I want to go take a little trip with Indiana Jones, and I want to watch Temple of Doom.
All right.
Okay.
The other two are really good. This one is the one I find that wobbles, and then I know there's something else, but that's not real.
Yeah, it's not the best, but let's give it the treatment.
I watched like 20 minutes of it, and I want to watch it. I want to watch it all the way through and pay attention and take notes and talk about it with my friends.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. As is your right as an American.
All right, gentlemen. Well, let's say goodbye to the internet. Thanks, Ambaloo, for finding us the correct pronunciation of ambergris.
I'm going to go with ambergris.
All right.
I just have to.
Goodbye, Nate Ostendorp.
Farewell.
Goodbye, Rob Roseboom.
See ya.
Goodbye, Chris DeBona.
See you.
This has been episode 594
Anything
Geeks in
goes.
Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I'm muting y'all.